Hello, everyone. I want to say a big welcome and thank you for attending today in our inaugural MTSU Physician Assistant Studies White Coat Ceremony. Please join me in standing as we welcome our faculty and all of our students. And you may be seated. It's a very exciting day for us in the MTSU PA Studies program. I keep telling this class, which they will graduate next year, that everything they do is noticed because they're the first ones. They're the first ones through every milestone. So it's a huge, huge day for them as they transition from their didactic portion of studies to their clinical year. Some of you may be wondering, what is a white coat ceremony? What are we doing here? This is not graduation, that's next year, so definitely everybody come back next year when we're celebrating the graduating class of 2024 that is before you today. But white coat ceremony is also a wonderful milestone. And we would not be here today if it were not for the many, many years of planning that has gone into this program. And that has been, undertaken by many people at this university. I will not try to name them all, but definitely the support of President McPhee, Provost Burns, who is in attendance today, General Huber, former Dean Whiteside, Interim Dean Barbara Turnage, and Associate Dean Lee Wade, and then our new Interim Dean Michael Hine. We could not be here if it weren't for the many, many, many individuals of support, because you cannot create a program of this size and magnitude without a lot of support from upper administration. So we are happy to be here today, and you can't just start a PA program overnight. This has been many years in the making, way before we even had these front row of students here. So I do want to remind these students that you are supposed to be here. We literally had 500-600 applicants for your seats. So I know sometimes when times get tough, it can be easy to think, what am I doing here? Did I make a mistake? And have imposter syndrome. But I know we've talked about that a lot and how imposter syndrome is even real for faculty. And it is no mistake that you're here. You're here because we wanted you here. You earned the right to be here, and we could not be more proud of where you are right now. So again, what is a white coat ceremony? What's the purpose of us being here today? Well, a couple of reasons. First of all, it's to acknowledge the fact that you have completed one phase of your program, a very rigorous 77 credit hour curriculum of very hard medical education in 15 months. That is astronomical, and that is no small feat. And you all on stage, along with myself, have helped teach 77 very intensive, laborious, difficult medical education content hours. And so we've been right there with you, and a lot of work has gone into getting you where you are. And there's been some bumps in the road. It's a long and arduous path. We know that. And the reason it is difficult, and the reason that sometimes, things are not as easy as maybe you think they should be, is because all of us on stage in these white coats, we know what's coming. We have been in your shoes. We know what you're about to face. It is no small feat to have someone's lives in your hand, and we want you to be ready. So we don't take that lightly. It's a very serious and big honor to be able to help other people with their medical problems. And so that is why we put so much time and effort into creating from scratch the content that you all learned in the last 15 months. So that is definitely a big thing to celebrate, the fact that we all have reached this milestone where now you are going to go live in the shoes of a preceptor and clinician out there in the medical world for a year, doing 8 different difficult rotations on a day-to-day basis, and live that life and get to see what that's going to be like. But the bigger reason that we're here today and that a white coat ceremony exists is for you all to really think about your future patients. When you put on a white coat, there's nothing magical about it. It doesn't give you superpowers. It doesn't make you fly. It doesn't make you all-knowing. But with it carries a huge responsibility. And I really want you to reflect on that as you put on your white coat today. In that, in a very short amount of time, you're going to be the ones making decisions about patients and how their treatment is and what to do for them and those types of things. We have done all we could to this point to get you here. We've taught you how to interpret acid-base and figure out how to treat them. We've taught you how to interpret EKGs, so when you're seeing someone with a heart attack, you know how to treat them. We've taught you how to run a mega code where you're the team lead, deciding when someone gets defibrillated, when they need compressions. We've taught you how to do procedures like suturing, lumbar puncture, chest tube, central line. We've taught you all that. We've taught you how to talk to patients about death and dying and their loved ones about death and dying. We've taught you a lot to get you to this point. But today, it's about your future patients. And what kind of clinician do you want to be? What do you want to be for them? What kind of PAs do you want to be? Just to reflect back on my own experience and how I came to decide on how I wanted to treat my patients. The year I was to start PA school was really exciting. I was living a great life, an undergraduate, college basketball player, kind of in my season, in the moment, and not really taking care of my health like I should, and noticed that I had a mole on my arm that was changing. Didn't think anything of it, but having a good mom like I did, she noticed it and made me an appointment to go see somebody. And I went to see them, and they did a really good job of listening to me. I wasn't taking it seriously, so I didn't make a big deal about it. But things that I said that day were concerning enough. She took a look at it and she said, I think it's fine. But because you said you think it's been changing, let's go ahead and take it off. But she said, I think it's going to come back fine. So I went ahead and had it removed, and then she called me in 2 weeks and told me that it was melanoma, which is a deadly type of skin cancer if not caught in time. And so I did have to go back in and have a couple of other procedures done. But because she listened to me, even though I was not concerned, she listened to me, and she took it off. It was caught in time. Fast forward a couple of months, and I had another visit with a different clinician in a different specialty for a different reason, because I was having some numbness and tingling in one of my arms. And I went with my mom to that appointment as well, and had a very different experience in that this clinician, you could tell, had not read my chart at all, came in the room, stood with their back to the door, didn't come in, didn't sit down, didn't introduce themselves. And the first thing out of their mouth was, well, you're having these symptoms because your melanoma has spread to your brain. And I was in NPA school at the time, but I knew enough about what had gone on with my melanoma to know, thank goodness, that that was not true. But a couple of things struck me with that was, number one, that's really wrong. So you spent maybe 5 seconds looking at my chart to come to that conclusion. Second of all, is that how you would really tell somebody if that was what was going on, is to not even come in and introduce yourself and sit down, but just tell them that they have metastatic cancer in 5 seconds after meeting them? So that made a huge impact on me before I started PA school. And it helped me realize, how do I want to be with my patients? You know, do I want to be like clinician A? Do I want to be like clinician B? So that definitely impacted me. Not only that, but then I had the realization of, what if the clinician I saw the first time had been like the second clinician? Would they have taken it off? Would they have listened to me? Would I have gone on to PA school? Would I have gotten married? Would I have 8 kids? Would I be here today? Maybe not. So it's important for you all in the front row to realize that every visit with every patient matters. It may seem small and insignificant to you on your busy day, but to them, it could literally be the difference between life and death. So I really want you to reflect on that today as you receive your white coats. Really think about, what do I want to be for my patients? Because it matters, right? And you've worked really hard to get to this point, and you can be the smartest person in the room, but if you don't have empathy and if you don't listen to your patients, none of that's going to matter, right? So I am very proud of you as you begin this next phase. I'm going to miss you all because we're not going to see you very often, but I could not be more proud for you all to be the inaugural cohort here at the MTSU PA program. So with that being said, we will now move on to the next portion of the program.
You guys ready? I do want to say, if there's anybody that doesn't have a seat, there are some seats up front. So if anybody comes in the back, feel free to pass it along. It says reserved, but just ignore that. There are a couple of PA students that we need to recognize that aren't here with us today. Benjamin Ezel and Daniel Pennington. And then when I say your name, please stand and come to the stage. Jacqueline Asamoah. Fazila Babar. Sydney Brooks. Rosie Bussey. Minahil Chowdhury. Leanne Collier. Mohammed Fowler. Sarah Guerin. Jennifer Hartman. Hina Ismaili. Amanda Jack. Lisa Lee. Kristen Mackins. Sarah Marsh. Aiden McLaughlin.
Savor the moment.
John Milstead. Jodeline Morales Centollo. Macy Murphy. Joy Aguama. They're happy for you.
It's okay. I was going to tell you.
Sohail Patel. Tyler Patton. Lisa Samuel. Aaron Sims. Christina Tipton. Molly Valentine. Don't throw me down. And last but not least, Miranda Vecchio. Okay, so I did not know I was going to get emotional, but seeing your people here, I know that they must be so proud of you, and we are too. You look really good in white coats. So I know we've been telling you the whole last year that you're going to look back on this the whole experience fondly, and I hope you're starting to believe us a little bit. I remember first day in class, and you guys have come a long way, and we're very proud of you. But there's a lot more work to do. So you're going to recite with me the physician assistant professional oath. So if all the PAs and PA students in the room would please stand. And faculty, please. So please repeat after me. I pledge to perform the following duties with honesty and dedication. I will hold as my primary responsibility the health, safety, welfare, and dignity of all human beings. I will uphold the tenets of patient autonomy, beneficence, non-maleficence, and justice. I will recognize and promote the value of diversity. I will treat equally all persons who seek my care. I will hold in confidence the information shared in the course of practicing medicine. I will assess my personal capabilities and limitations, striving always to improve my medical practice. I will actively seek to expand my knowledge and skills, keeping abreast of advances in medicine. I will work with other members of the healthcare team to provide compassionate and effective care of patients. I will use my knowledge and experience to contribute to an improved community. I will respect my professional relationship with the physician. I will share and expand knowledge within the profession. These duties are pledged with sincerity and upon my honor. You may be seated.
Again, I just want to say a big thank you for attending today. And we are going to have the recessional of the PA students, and then we're going to take a few pictures in the back. And we welcome you to share some refreshments with us for a little while. And also, I would be remiss if I did not thank Julie Goodrich, the executive aide, and Dr. Candace Whitley, who is also a PA and staff for the program. And they worked really hard to make this event what it is today for our inaugural class. So thank you to them. Thank you again to everyone. Okay, you can all stand up. And you can recess.